Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Talk. It's the third show of the evening, which I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm so excited about this one. I've been looking forward to this topic all week, and I think it's an interesting topic and one that needs to be spoken about. And as you know, on this show, Let's Talk, I like to talk with interesting people and about interesting topics. So as you can see to my right, we have Richard Tait, who's the owner of Sweat Shack. I have left links in the description below to the Facebook page and his website, so you guys can go check him out and see what they are all about. Obviously, what I know about them is that they are a gym boutique, but I'll let Richard explain more detail what they're all about. But before he does, I got a question because I gotta know. It's just been bothering me, and I gotta know. Richard Tait. There's a T at the end of Richard. Why? And is it like, am I even pronouncing it right? Like, is it supposed to be Richard, or is it?
No, it's supposed to be Richard. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm
So I am
Afrikaans.
pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah. But it's fine. I live in the southern suburbs, and I'm used to people pronouncing it Richard, Richard, and they also they just call me Rick or
Okay.
Richard, but because they just can't pronounce Richard. And where it comes from is my parents were watching a Richard Strauss concert once, and my mom said, "I like that name," and that's it. That's his name. So I
All right.
mean, just to explain to people how to, if you want to get it right, in South Africa we got a town, Louis Trichardt, and you
Okay.
spell that Trichardt with a T at the end, and so you don't say Louis Trichardt, you say Louis, you say Louis Trichardt. So
Yeah.
I mean, there we go. So if you want, you're struggling, just say Louis Trichardt and take the Louis and the T out, and you've got Richard. So all
Okay.
sorted,
I'm gonna.
Richard. But if you struggle, Rick or Richard, people do struggle. So
Okay.
I don't mind that. I'm not that sensitive and I don't have issues. So I think we're good to go with Richard or Rick or Richard.
Richard. Am I saying Richard? Richard.
Ja.
Okay.
Mooi. Lovely.
Mooi, baie lekker. Ik praat bikkie Afrikaans. I don't even
It's
know
like
if I.
my English. Delicious since I was twice.
All right, Richard. Let's get into the nitty
Yeah,
gritty. So
sure.
explain to people what it is you exactly do, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, cool. So what we do is we run my place is called Sweat Shack. It's a boutique gym. So why we say boutique, it's really small and it's specialized. We don't we're not like the Virgin Actives or the Planet Fitness. We're a big club, and we're part of the conglomerate of gyms you call independent fitness clubs in South Africa. So it's usually smaller clubs, and we have a small number of members, but we are very specialized in what we do. We give people special attention, and so at any stage, there's about, the maximum number of people we have in our gym at any time is 12 people at any time. So, and that is really at very limited times. Usually when we work with people, it's either one-on-one. We've got small Pilates, yoga classes, about 8 people in a class. We see group sessions of 4 to 6 people. So it's really small groups of people. And then we also have a daily, people, we do healthy foods and treats for people. We give them coffee. We also a multidisciplinary center where you do massages and those kind of things are also included. So what differentiates us from the bigger clubs is it's specialized and it's personal. So we know all the clients, we know everybody, everyone's pretty much like a small family. So that's the difference between us. And and the hard thing for us is at the moment where we are at is there's not really much help coming to us. But I mean we'll chat about that a little bit more. But
Yeah.
that's the background of what we do. We're really client centric. So everyone knows what they're getting. They pay for what they get. And they definitely know that when they get there, they have got a personalized service that you won't get anywhere else. So that's the difference between us and other places.
I have a question already coming in. Thank you so much for those who are watching, and feel free to ask us anything if Richard can. He'll answer it about the industry, about hell, maybe a training thing. I don't know. But we do have Robin Hassan, who's been with me this entire evening. So thank you so much, Robin. Yeah. She asks, where are you guys based?
We are based in Kenilworth,
Okay,
in
great.
Cape Town.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so and that's also a nice part. We actually look like a house. So when you, so it's really a family-based thing. So it's in a residential area, commercial space in a residential area, and when you walk in there, it does look, and that's also something different. When you walk in there, most of my clients say, "Oh, it feels like I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going to do my thing, have my coffee, and then go home." So Kenilworth, Cape Town, in Goldbourne Road. Yeah, I'll give the address away. It's like, I really want you to come there. It's not like they want to chase you away.
That's true. But yeah, like I said, guys, go to his website. It is in the description below, and you guys can check it out and get all that information. So I think what we really want to try and get into now is you told me that your business, unfortunately, due to the lockdown, has been shut down for 3 months. How are you doing, though? Tell us a bit about how this experience has been for you, and tell us what you've done to maybe try and create some kind of income.
Sure. So, well, to give background, our gym, I've never been an online trainer, or my work's never been online. So I've really focused on personal touch, personal attention, clients coming in. I love interaction with people. I'm a people person. I've always been. Just a bit of background. Growing up as a child, I've always been a bit of a, I've been a bit of a fatty growing up. So obviously you have to have a bit of a personality to get people to like you. So as you get, so you get used to that. And I love people. I'm an extrovert. I love people. And so my thing is, when people come there, I'm happy. When I can work with people, I'm happy. And that was probably the hardest part for me, not being able to get people to come in because they give me energy. So I had to change, because obviously no one's allowed to come into my space. And so I started doing online training with some of my clients. But then I also had other clients that, for instance, I had one client that's a pilot that hasn't been flying for 3 months. They were on unpaid leave. So that's an income you lose. And so I had to switch from doing personal clients to an online base, which was quite hard. It's like starting a new business all over again. Online is completely different. It's than working with people. So it was really tough for me. And for us not being able to open, you lose about, for us, between 80 and 90% of your income. That is the reality. Personally, for me, that's where we were at. It's if you can't see people, they can't pay you, they can't come in. That's what it is. And I couldn't expect people to keep on supporting me if they don't get a service. Luckily, I had one or two of my clients that said, "You know what, we are still making a salary. I'm going to contribute to whatever I can." And I was also quite lucky in the sense that, for me personally, our landlord was quite forthcoming. So they gave us a lot of. I think we only have to pay the municipal fees and so forth, but otherwise rental they dropped, and for the 3 months. So in that sense, we were lucky. But it's hard. You've got other things to pay, and it's hard to make a living like that. It's hard to, and it does work on a person's psyche. You, like, where's the money going to come from, and where you're going to get help from? You apply to government for help, and what you get is pretty much nothing. It's like, "Oh, you're not 51% BEE, like black owned." So there we go. So, and I said to them, "Yeah, but my problem is that I am a company, but I'm a sole director of my company. So it makes life hard. I mean, it makes it very hard to actually stay afloat in times like these. I had 3 employees, which is because we are small. I mean, we don't need a lot. I had a barista for the coffee and I had 2 cleaners, which all I had to let go. I mean, I couldn't keep them on. So, I mean, in the scope of things, it might sound like it's not a lot. But I'm in a group called Fit SA used to be on WhatsApp, but they changed to Telegram because WhatsApp is not that effective. And what happens is on that group, there's more than 250 gyms on that group. Now, if you think about, I've got 3 people in my establishment, and there's other gyms that's also employing maybe more people. How many people actually do lose their jobs just because we can't provide for them? So it makes me feel quite shit. I mean, I can't look after someone, and I think other people are in the same boat as well. And from what I've seen on that group, a lot of people are in the same boat, and we are struggling. And if we don't open soon, we'll be in trouble. That's pretty much it.
You mentioned the whole you applied for relief.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience. Tell me about was it easy? Was it simple? The process.
The process is simple. I mean, I applied and I filled out the form, and already when you fill it out and you look at the questions they ask, you're like, oh yes, I think things aren't going to go my way yet. It's like maybe I've got to find all my rich family that I've got, and maybe they can. But and then you get the feedback per SMS and telling you do not qualify.
They don't tell you why.
No, they don't really say. They just say you don't qualify. There are numerous facts, but they don't say what the things are that doesn't. But I mean, the questions are: Are you 51% black owned? Are you, how long have you been operating? So there's a lot of things that they're asking. And from my perspective, I will never. I'm one of those people. I do try and take personal responsibility. So if government's not going to help, I'm going to find another way to make it work eventually. So I'm not blaming anyone. If that's their way and that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But the process itself is not hard. The outcome is terrible. I mean, the outcome wasn't that much fun. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's where we are. And I think you have to make work.
Has there been anyone in your industry, like any other gyms or gym owners or anyone, fitness people that have said, "Hey, let's create our own fund. Let's do something." Has there been anything like that?
Actually, now that you mention it, I haven't. They haven't done it, but I actually recently started a crowdfunding just for, and it's not a lot. I don't want people to, I know other people are also struggling. So, I mean, it's so hard to say that our industry is struggling. Can you help our industry? And I know other industries are also in the same boat. I mean, the beauty industry opened recently. So, I mean, it's hard for everyone. It's not just for us. But I think, speaking to colleagues of mine and saying that they are struggling, they've got a tough time and things aren't easy for them. What are the things that we can do to make it easy? And someone would say to me, if I can have a 5,000 Rand for the next month to pay a rental or something like that, that'll be great. So I did start a small crowdfunding, which I don't have the link here actually, but
you send it to me later. I'll
send it to you later. And it's just anyone that wants to contribute to the fitness industry, because I think it's an important industry in the country, and I think people don't realize the impact that it does have. If you look at COVID, for example, that's if one of the biggest comorbidities for COVID is diabetes. It's the fitness industry is hands on fighting that. So I mean, it's. Sometimes I don't understand what happens and how the process and the thinking behind, as we all do. I mean, we've talked about all these things. Everyone's talked about that. What's government's thinking behind their reasoning for keeping things shut and keeping things open? and or letting things open up. And, our industry, it's proven that we increase virility and longevity and, immunity, through what we do. So I understand all the other things, but we'll probably get to that. I mean, how to sanitize, how to keep a gym clean. Is a gym a cesspool of germs and things like that? I mean, but at the end of the day, you have to look at preventative measures. And I think that's where they got it wrong completely.
Okay. I do want to address something in the chats quickly. I am there have been people asking questions, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. But there is a specific theme, if I can call it that I want to discuss with Richard before I bring up some of these questions, because a lot of them are asking about diets. So, we'll get to that. We'll get to all that. But there is one question that is on topic here. Peter Sawanga asks, has anyone in government spoken to you besides the SMS?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the simple answer. Not a single person. No. Okay. So let's just go. Not to me personally. Let's just go quickly, because I think it ties in to what he's asking. Is we have all these industries that had court cases against government, and on the 2nd of July, so the independent gym owners, so that excludes people like Virgin Active and Planet Fitness and the bigger
companies.
Fitness, they didn't support this court case particularly, and so the smaller independent gyms went to court, and it's the same person that Colorful Yoon that did the court case for the beauty industry, which they won and they got back in. So we had the same advocate for that. And what happened was, I know there was also an article in News 24 which completely got it wrong. Anyway, as they usually do. But
I'm going to find that article and I'm going to put it in the link below. That's interesting.
Yeah. So that article stated that the gym industry, government says, or they explained why they would not allow for gyms to open up. But what they failed to mention is in that court case, when the gyms went to court, or the small independent gyms went to court, obviously government comes with their counter argument and they want to make their case. And as per usual, they did not hand in their affidavit on the day. So obviously they weren't ready with that. So what happened is they said they do understand if protocols are adhered to, then the smaller independent gyms can open, but obviously that's under strict conditions. And then we have to go through, obviously, the National Command Council to Parliament. That has to be gazetted and then it can be opened. So our lawyer, they all agreed on 10 days. So we'll see and that should be by next week, Monday. If that doesn't happen, then it goes back to court. So in effect, government agreed that we can open up eventually. Obviously it just has to go through the process. But it seems that, they are dragging their heels a bit. Which is okay. I understand that it usually happens. It's with government, it always happens. But so it means that eventually we will be able to open up about by the 16th of July. That's what they are saying. If not, then we'll have to find another way, to push forward. So
what you're saying is, if you win or manage to get through all the court systems and all that stuff and get the precautions in place, you could be open, or the industry for small gyms could be opened up on the 16th of July.
Yeah, within this month. Yeah.
Okay.
So with the 16th is just a date because it was 10 to 14 days, and they said the court case was on the 2nd. So that's the time span. But obviously they are on it, and so what this News 24 reporter said is that he only took the affidavit, the information that he got from the affidavit of the government, and so it said that we are going to struggle to open, and then other people said, but 80% of gyms are going to close down, and we're going to have a bit of a sickle. So
Yeah.
So that's where we are at. So we're hoping for the best, and we see where we go to with that. But I don't know. Let's.
Well, yeah. I mean, time will tell. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta go through the system, and I hope that you guys win. I mean, have you? Okay, so do you know? Have you heard anything about the protocols that need to be in place? If you were to open up now tomorrow, do you know what protocols you need to implement?
That's the amazing thing, and that I have to give credit. So the smaller independent gyms have got we all belong to some a group called Fit SA, and they are the ones that organize the court case. They are the ones that they send out documents and stuff. And the nice thing is, it's such an active group of people, and I have to say, thanks to Grant from Fit SA, what they do is they actually give us documents on protocols, extensive documents of showing this is what you have to do, this is what you have to follow. And I mean, it comes down to the same as anyone else has to do. I mean, you have to make sure that their hands are washed, sanitized, keep the distance, people wear masks. I know people are averse to that sometimes when training, but I mean, there's these protocols that you have to follow, and it's very simple. And I think what people don't understand is when you have a small place like ours, it's actually very easy to sanitize. I mean, it's easier for me to sanitize my place than for a Pick and Pay to sanitize their store. We clean it before every session, and it's always been something we've done anyway. So I mean, before every session, we sanitize weights in the morning, the cleaners in the afternoon, myself. You wipe everything down continuously. It's not something that you don't do. So it's not something that's new to us. There's obviously a few little things added. Some people spray the soles of the, soles of your tackies when you walk in there and things like that. But other than that, we are used to sanitizing, especially us with the small spaces. It's literally like cleaning your house.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point. I didn't even think of that because, I mean, mostly in gyms, yes, it's true. Sweat, germs do get into equipment, and it can become what you call it, a petri dish for
Yes.
For disease and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But like you said, I've seen gyms clean almost like every hour, every 2 hours, some of them. So I mean, that's a very good point. What is the difference? Just the mask and sanitize? Like, so if I go to the gym now, right, and I use, let's say I'm using the weights, so I got to wear my mask. I probably have to sanitize before I pick up the weights. Sanitize after I'm done with the weights. Is that basically how it would work?
So that's basically as you walk into the space, you get sanitized. The equipment is sanitized. After every set that you do, you use the equipment. It gets sanitized immediately afterwards. So I mean, especially with a group of 4 people, it's not hard. You spray it down, you wipe it down, and you follow that. And you have to do the 1.5 meter social distance, which isn't hard either. So all those things that you have to adhere to, we do and pretty much have done already. And I think this is the thing that gets most people, especially in our space. I know it's very hard you walk into a Virgin Active, that's hard. There's about 50 to 100 people in a gym at a time on peak time. And how do you deal with that? But with us in a small space, it's so easy to move people around. I mean, and that's also the thing that is quite, which we don't understand, is when they gazetted the argument of, okay, now you can train between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening, and you can train 4 people together, but it can't be planned. So it's like, how don't you plan? Like you're 4 people together, but I can't WhatsApp you and say, listen here, Joe, let's go for a run or something, because it's planned. It's just the wording, I suppose. But I mean, at the end of the day, so how don't you plan it? And getting 4 people together outside or getting 4 people together in one of our spaces, what's the difference? How does it change things? If you sanitize well inside, what's the different than outside? And our argument is as well is you can go for a run or you can go for a cycle, but that's not everyone's cup of tea. People like resistance training, they like HIIT training, they like CrossFit, they like different things.
Yoga.
And at the end of the day, give people what they want and let them make the choice and let them be responsible. I mean, we're responsible enough for our clients as it is. So we know the risks, we know what it's about. So it's not that hard. I think it's quite simple.
And how long have you been in this industry?
I've been in the industry close now. I'm not giving away. Okay, I've been in the industry for about 15, 16 years. 16 years.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've been doing it for quite a long time. So, I mean, we know what to do.
Yeah.
It's our first priority. When you look at the fitness industry, and I think people have got a warped sense or idea of what the industry is about. I think people misunderstand that it's really a professional industry. It's been along for a long time, and it's also growing quite quickly. I mean, especially in South Africa, it's still growing. It's still something that hasn't really matured yet to its full potential. And I think what people don't understand is when you're in the fitness industry, our goal is, you have got your people that, they want to be the buff guy and they want to be the big guy and they want to look good. But then you've got people that's really in it for health. They want to feel good. They want to feel better. They want to sleep better. They want to just be healthier. And I think 80% of the fitness industry is about that, making people healthier and contributing to health of people. And if you take that away, essentially you putting more people at risk to end up in hospital, for whatever the reason is. So we are a part of the solution more so than we're a part of the problem. So we're not a cesspool, we're actually helping people. And I think that that's what we're trying to bring across.
We actually mentioned this, a fellow comedian and me, in the last stream about the mental aspect of it as well, because people, especially those that exercise a lot, that go maybe every day to the gym or every other day to the gym to get their little, because that's what happens when you gym a lot, you start to feel better, you get that little rush. Oh, I forgot what the term is called. Dopamine?
Endorphin.
Yeah, the endorphin. And that causes you to get addicted to going and stuff like that. So now you've taken that away, which again is contributing, as I mentioned in the last stream, to mental illness, to people now becoming depressed. I mean, have some of your clients come to you and
100% agreed. And it's I myself, from experience, know that it's you can call it addiction or whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, we know the positive effect that exercise has on the mind. It's been proven, it's been documented. It's very effective, to help with stress reduction. It is a natural antidepressant, as you say, endorphins. I mean that, and I think when you take that away from people, and we know the research now, and we also know the numbers. We know that suicides have went up in during COVID times, and it's a tough time for people. And I think people don't think it through. When they set these rules. There is things that you can talk about the health of people, how many people will die because of COVID, but how many people will die because of stress-related illnesses like depression, for example. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible disease to have. And, when you don't allow people that, the ability to reduce their stress, it's bad. And that's what's been happening. And I know, as you've correctly mentioned, there's a lot of my clients as well. They do say to me, it's like, it is the outlet. When they come and train, that's where, some of these guys, they've got stressful jobs. So, and now what's even worse, they tell me they're working from home, and they say that's even worse. They work harder. So they've got less time for themselves and they can't help it. And at the end of the day, they stress more, they have got less time for themselves, and they don't get their out or their release of just to let go and let the stress go completely. And that's where we are at. Wow. And that's where I think we can assist.
And you mentioned earlier that you've taken things online. So I think this is
Yeah.
maybe a good time to also maybe, can you give us a little bit more detail on what exactly it is you're doing online, on the online thing, in case there are people. I know Oba King was watching and he was very curious to know, what can people do now to get at least a little bit of a fix?
Yeah. So online, it's actually worked quite well in a sense that we see people at home, so they at home and I see them online. We use Zoom as a medium for training. So what we do pretty much, and you obviously know that most people don't have equipment at home, so you have to adapt to that. Online training for myself as someone that trains someone is a bit harder because half the time you do the session with the clients, and if you've got a few sessions, it gets a bit tough, but that's no problem. At the end of the day, what we do is it's all body weight movement, but it goes for about 50 to 60 minutes at a time, and it's quite a simple process where I just get a few people, I give them a password, they log in pretty much like we're doing here, and I instruct and they follow. But it's nice. It's actually, in a sense, the online makes people work a little bit harder.
Interesting.
If it makes sense. I mean, Joe, you can give it a go one day and just
Sure, why not?
see how it feels, and you can first-hand experience.
Here's a question I think you'd like to answer. Ingrid is asking, how does one sign up to the online training?
Okay, so that is on the website. I think you put the link down.
Yeah.
I've put down the. So what we did is during COVID, because we know people were struggling financially. So for us, it was, to be honest, it was a twofold thing. We wanted to get people moving, but we also wanted to market ourselves. There's a time after COVID, and when that is over, you've got a business to run and you want clients. So to be honest, as what we did is on our website, you'll find there's a link to Zoom with the ID and the password, and I put down the times of sessions, and people can just join those sessions. So we ask for, if they want to, they can donate something. If they don't, that's fine. So the sessions essentially were free. And if you want to join an online session, come on, give it a try, no problem whatsoever. So you can go to the website. I think Joe, you put the link down, and they can go to the website, and there's a special section. There's a special COVID section where people can go to, and the user, the address is there and the password, and they can look at the timetable and decide where they want to join.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay. So just donate. So please, guys, encourage everyone to go and check this out. I think I might give it a go. I'll think about it.
No, but Joe, just give it a go. This is the thing about this is also, to be honest, this is the thing about the nice thing about these sessions is because you've got so many people working together. We usually do a time-based. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people, you do what you can do with your body. It's this is. Your body is your greatest tool, and what we do is we give people the opportunity, and say, for instance, you got a session a set that lasts a minute, and Joe, you decide I can do 25 seconds of that minute. You do 25 seconds of the minute. Next week you can do 30 or 45 seconds. So it's progressive. It's for yourself, and the nice thing is no one. This is also the thing. Usually people say that. Yeah, but I don't want people to see me look like shit. I'm weak, and I don't want people to see me. And I tell them, usually when I give a class is Joe will look up because he just wants to see if everyone else is they're moving, and then Joe looks down, and then Ingrid, she will then look up to see if everyone. So at every different stage, everyone is struggling the same, but they don't think, oh shit, that Joe moves. He just moves, but she doesn't know that Joe's been resting for 20 seconds. So it's a thing. It's you do your own thing at your own time, your pace, whatever you feel. And at the end of the time, as you say, those endorphins kick in, you feel great. And then you can have your glass of wine.
Cool. And you obviously, like you mentioned before, because you know that people don't have weights and all that stuff, you've
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
catered to doing some exercises that is easy for everyone.
yeah.
So I think that's a good selling point that you don't need weights, guys.
No,
Just
you
use what's in the
literally just
house.
need yourself, pitch up, give it a go, and if halfway through you say to me, Rick, my child is calling, even if you don't have one, I just have to go. I won't know the better.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, 30 minutes is good for me, and
Yeah.
I go.
Wow.
I've got to look after my kid or my kitten or whatever. It's like,
That's awesome. All right, so please, guys, let's help the gym industry. Please, do you have a YouTube channel by any chance?
no,
Okay.
no.
Well, then go to the website, go to the Facebook page. I believe you're also on Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow them, and maybe if you need that exercise fix, there you go. You have someone who will happily guide you and train you during this time. And let's hope that they are successful with the courts. Look, I am rooting for every business to just
Yeah, yeah,
open
yeah.
up. Every industry needs to open up now and be safe doing so. We need to get this economy running again. So kudos to you and all the other fitness ZA who are also fighting the good fight, and I hope you'll keep me updated.
Yeah, sure, Joan.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. You'll know. I'm going to tell you to come in. I'm going to tell you to come in anyway, so it's
Cool.
yeah.
I just want to. Okay, so now we can get to some of the questions, the burning
Okay.
questions, pun intended. Let's see. So one of the first questions I got was, please ask him how I can lose stomach fat.
Oh man. It's the age old. Is it a male or female?
Female.
Yeah, that's usually a bit harder. And I said, no, I'm saying it because, hormones play such a big role. If it's a male, and it's an unfair advantage. We've got testosterone, so we've got those things that helps us along the way. And for females, it does get a little bit tougher, but it's not. If I may ask, but I don't know her and I can't see her, so I mean, how old she is? Can I? May I ask the age?
Well, she's followed you on Instagram, so I recommend for Robin to go.
I know who she is then.
To go. Yeah.
So it, and I think that's the thing with most people. There's not a one size fits all, and I think a lot of people have got this idea is reduce calories, eat less, train harder, and boom, you're fine. But the body is very complicated. It doesn't just work like that. There's a lot of other things that goes on in the body, and then there's all these different types of modalities. I mean, you've got banting, you've got keto, you've got low carb, high carb, you've got the bodybuilding diet, you've got all these different kind of things, and no one really knows best. What do I have to do in order for me to lose that? The best option or the best answer I can give is, at the end of the day, whole foods is the best option. So as they always say, it's things that you don't find in a box. And then there are different ways. So if it's someone that does struggle with losing, but I just suggest, I won't mind whoever, because I can't see the names and I can't see it.
You won't
But
see.
but whoever that is she's more than welcome. I won't mind at all to sit and have a chat and talk it through, because it is individual, and people, it is possible to lose it. But you'll have to look at
Different
what
variables.
can you eat, when you can eat it, how to eat. And I think people are stressing, but then I can't have the things that I want to have and all those kind of, I know people think. And but it's actually not that bad. Is you can make it work for you, but you will really have to just add a little bit of, just try a little harder. It's not, it's something that it's easily fixed, but I think sometimes people make it hard because they're thinking diet. I have to diet now. I have to completely let go of everything, and I have to focus on these kind of things. But at the end of the day, it's not about diet. You have to decide, am I going to live this lifestyle? Am I going to make a bit of a lifestyle change? And I think that's the difference that comes in. So anyone that's watching and listening, I won't mind at all. Send me a message. I will gladly help you with whatever you need, to just make that change. If it's that little stomach fat that you want to lose, it's as an example, and I'm just going to give a little bit of an example. If you look at the types of food that you eat. So if you look at your cruciferous veg, for example, your broccolis and your spinach, your cauliflowers and those kind of things, they decrease estrogen and those things. And obviously a decreased estrogen leads to less body fat building up. So, and that's just a small example of the big picture. But I'm saying this, what do you eat, when do you eat it, how do you eat it? McDonald's every day is not going to do it. It's you just...
Don't judge me.
But so the stomach fat, unfortunately, is not training, and I wish I could tell people that just work harder, train harder, jump further, lift heavier weights. It's not that. It's what you eat. Okay. Unfortunately, it's what you eat, or fortunately, depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's how we can fix it. So yeah, feel free. Just give me
a shot.
Contact me on Instagram, or like a direct message on Sweat Shack, or you can. I think my number is actually on the webpage as well. So my phone number, so you can WhatsApp me as well if they want to, and we can sit down and have a nice chat. It's not a problem at all.
There you go, guys. Go speak to Richard about all the great things. I was very briefly though.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, because this is Robin. There's like two Robins in the chats now. So Robin Williams. No relation. Thoughts on keto diet?
I've been following keto diet for 5 years. So I mean,
there you go. Look how amazing this guy looks.
To me, it's a lifestyle. It's not a. And I think when you think diet, that's the issue. I love it. For me, all my blood pressure is better, cholesterol is great, but that's also a sensitive topic for most people. Everything, I sleep better as well. So everything has worked better for me. So my thoughts from personal experience is it's great. Mm-hmm. Will it work for you? That's something that you have to find out. And the thing is, when people think keto or when they think banting, for example, people stress out because they think, oh my word, I've got to eat a lot of protein and no carbs, and I've got to eat all this fat and stuff. And there's this misconception of it being this thing that how much steaks do I've got to eat now just to sustain myself. And what people don't know is that keto is not about a lot of protein at all. It is a high fat diet, but it's not like you're going to eat a lot of bacon or whatever. What you do is it's your coconut oils, your nuts, your seeds, those kind of things that comes into the fray. You can have cheese, you can have yogurt, you can have all those things. Cheese, yogurt, you can have the bacon, you can have that. But it's the way you eat it. And then people say, but no carbs. But then you've got intermittent fasting, which you have done before. And there's different times of eating. There's nights that you will eat more carbs, and there's nights that you will eat less carbs. And and I've gotten so used to it. I'll be honest that I don't feel the need to eat chocolates or chips or those kind of things anymore. I'm happy with my eggs and bacon in the morning. I'm happy with my steak and your veg and those kind of things. So I love the keto diet personally for what it's done for me. It's not unhealthy, and there's a lot of research out there that shows that it actually does work, compared to a high carb diet. But once again, we're not all the same. And it's the thing where you have to be screened individually and go through the process and talk it through, and then you decide.
Yeah, and set goals, obviously.
The nice thing about also I want to add about the intermittent fasting is the reason it works so well is it does create a calorie deficit. I mean, per week you'll have about 600 calories less. So it does create that deficit that people in their mind think, when you eat less, yes, eventually you will eat less, but there's also a lot of other things. There's hormonal changes that happens and those kind of things. So it does work and it does help, but you need guidance with it. It's not something. There's something as they call bad keto and good keto. The bad keto guys just fed everything in front of them, all the meats, all the fat, and just say, that's what I heard you have to do, and that's what I do. But at the end of the day, keto and banding and all those things actually comes down to just eat whole foods from the earth. That's all you do. And it's just a balance of how much of each you eat. And
cool.
It works.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in. Keto. I haven't tried that one. The intermittent fasting one was all right. I just couldn't. I couldn't keep up with it.
You shouldn't do it every day, though.
Sorry?
You shouldn't do it every day.
I was doing it every day. Okay. So Kat here says, question, Joe, can Richard bench double his weight?
No. I've never felt the need to be honest. My weight, I'm 90, 100. No, I can't. I weigh 90 kilos, so no, 180, no.
Oh, I see.
Unfortunately, no, I can't.
I see Robin answered your question. She's 33 years old.
Yeah, so she's at that age, and the reason I asked that, because she's at that age where, when a female gets to that age, it's something you've got to really specialize in what you do when it comes to losing that fat. It gets harder as you get older, as it is for males as well. I mean, males after 40 loses testosterone, and it gets harder to lose weight. So,
oh, good, I still have time.
Yeah, there's a...
I can enjoy my food for maybe another 2-3 years.
I don't. So it's like it's...
Because I've noticed it was much easier. Oh, I think obviously this is just how it is. Like when you're younger, you burn fat quicker. Your metabolism's better. So obviously, I've turned 30 recently. I'm turning 31 now in August, and I've noticed when I was going to the gym, it took forever to lose weight, and I was like, I used to just do 2 weeks, man, and I was 10 kilos less. Now it's
no, man, when you're 20 years old, you can walk out of the club and into the gym.
It's sad.
All night there in Cape Town, you spend the whole night, you go out to town, you come walk into the gym, next day you've lost 5 kilos. That's when you're 20 years old, that it works. But as you get older, it gets tougher.
There's a question.
But you're good, Joe. You've got it. Yeah, you're good. You're okay.
You only see this part of me, so don't be. Dean Tait, is he related to you?
That's my brother.
Okay. He says, or he asks, do you focus? I think he says, do you focus on other aspects of fitness training, such as sports performance and injury recovery as well?
Yes, I do. So my half my client base is athletes, but unfortunately they're not professional athletes, which means that I can't open my gym. So it's also a strange thing, I've mostly worked all my life with rugby players, cricket players, and tennis players, especially tennis players throughout the years. I just love tennis as a sport. I think it's a very graceful sport, and I love the fitness involved with it. I think a lot of people don't understand how fit you have to be a tennis player, but it's crazy. It's insane how fit those guys are. And I think so. A big part of my training is athletes and sports performance. The type of training, I love athletes because they don't say no to anything.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, they're nuts. It's like you say jump this high, they say I'm going to jump this high. So
Yeah.
I mean,
they are athletes, so by nature they're competitive. So
very
yeah,
no,
that makes sense.
It's the most beautiful person to work with. Where have you got your normal clients? You've got to motivate them.
Yeah.
You've got to get them there. You've got to push them a bit and say, got to dangle that carrot and say, this is what you're going to get at the end of it. The athlete just knows what they want. They just push forward. They don't care. So, yes. And then, that you actually mentioned it, recovery. Yes, we do focus on that. As I said, we're multidisciplinary. So we do focus on recovery afterwards, and the massage aspect of it. So we've got massage. Actually, it's nice. It's nice that. Oh yeah, that's also another name. So you say Dean, but he's Dion. So it's the same thing.
Dion, sorry.
and yeah. So I know his girlfriend Christy. She does what you call reflex locomotion therapy, and she's done 2 sessions with me. I can't. She'll have to explain to you what she does, but I know it's amazing and it works. And the thing is, but it's all pressure points and so forth. But it's gonna you might have to get her on for another explain that, because that stuff's amazing. But the point is, so we've got all those things that we do, and recovery is a very important part of training as well. And you say people, it's very hard for a normal person to overtrain. I think a lot of people think about overtraining in the sense that I'm going to overtrain or something like that. But it's very hard to do. But we do focus on that part. So we do focus on athletes and recovery training as well.
That's awesome. I have okay, so we're almost at the end of our show, and I definitely want to ask about. There's 2 things I want to ask. So. Yeah. I've seen people in the chats talking about something called HIIT training.
Yes.
I've never heard of that, so I'm curious to know what that is. And then Mario Pistorius says hello. He's just saying hi. How are you doing? I'm fine, Mario. Thank you, Mario. Thank you for tuning in. And then Robin Hussein asks your thoughts on meal replacements, which I'm also curious about to know your thoughts on that. So, what is HIIT training and your thoughts on meal replacements?
So HIIT training is kind of my specialty. That's what I really love to do. It's high intensity interval training. So your resting periods when you do HIIT training is quite low. So it keeps the heart rate up, and it's a shorter training period, about 45 minutes, but you really push hard.
Oh, is it that thing that they do with Virgin Red, where they have that grid? I don't know if you know it. Is that it?
That's much like the grid, yeah.
Okay, I've done it. Yeah. Okay, I know what it is. I like that.
Mine's just a little bit more insane, so I'll give you one. No, I love HIIT training. I think it's effective as a tool for training. It really pushes the body. Obviously, and I'm one of those people. You have to do a combination of different modalities of training. I mean, don't just focus on the HIIT or just the weight training or just cardio. Combine the things together. Be holistic in your approach. What I love to do is I love skipping for cardio. And the only reason I ever started skipping was to get discovery points. To be honest, that's like, I did 30. I started quite slow, and then I started doing 30 minutes of skipping at a time, and I got 300 vitality points. And I said, well, if I do that 3 times a week, I get 900 points. And
you've just let people know how to. How to beat the system.
There's a little hack.
Yeah.
3 times skipping, 30 minutes. I promise you 900 points in a week. Easy.
I
That's your vitality points.
I hope Discovery never watches this.
Keep them away from this. I hope one of those on secret or double agents or something like that. But anyway, so I love the combination of cardiovascular training, weight training. I do HIIT training as well, and all those things in combination's great. And to be honest, for me to get the best results of training is what we call, it's a hybrid type of training where you combine weight training with high intensity training. But once again, everyone's different. You screen the person, you take them through a process, and you see what works best for them. Everyone is so different in the results. Yeah, it's and then the other question, I can't remember, Joe's like.
Your opinion on meal replacements.
Oh, meal replacements. For the most people, it's completely unnecessary. It's
interesting.
If you follow a completely full-on healthy diet, you are fine. And I think when it comes to athletes doing extreme training, and when they have little time, to add a little protein, like a protein shake at the end, that's great. But it's really not a necessity. I haven't been using meal replacements for such a long time. In the beginning, I was like, it's easy to walk into a store and people tell you, have to take this, have to take BCAAs, have to take this meal replacement shake, because they would tell you that the earth is depleted and you don't get the vitamins. That's the selling point. Herbalife, I can't mention names. But companies does that. Companies does that, and I think so. So what happens is that people buy into that, and the stuff's expensive, man.
Yeah. It is.
So I'm saying you go to the local food lovers market and go buy veg, and you can buy your almond milk and your whatever you want to buy there, and your meat and everything, and just create yourself a healthy eating plan, which by the way, I'm busy with. It's almost finished, so I can give that to people as well. And the thing is this, the body is really good at absorbing food, and you don't need the stuff. But, it is nice to have like a whey protein on hand. If you are busy and you don't have time, club a shake. It's not a problem. It's not going to hurt you anything, but it's not a necessity. You can really look good without all of that. You really, and feel good and be healthy.
Awesome. Yeah. I just have a few funny comments that have come in. Alistair Ross says, make your cleaner 51% shareholder, get funding, and F the system.
You see, that's the thing, man. I should have thought about that earlier, but I don't have a cleaner anymore. But anyway, I'll take that in next time. Next Corona, I'll do that.
And then Robin Hassan, who asked about the opinion on the meal replacement, says, dang, I wasted my money, lol. And so did I.
Listen, it's not a waste completely. I mean, you can have it. But I mean, it's not like a must. You have to have it every day. It's, to be honest, if you want to in the morning, and especially for someone that does a bit of intermittent fasting or something, it's a nice to have a whey protein to break the fast is not bad. I mean, that's a good thing. So I mean, use it for that. To break a fast if you do intermittent fasting, or really, so you didn't waste your money. It's just not something that you have to have every day. You can use it. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Peter
Sawanga is a fellow comedian.
Yeah, he was quite funny last night.
Yeah, he's cracking up jokes in the live chats all the way. So he's dying for me to ask this with you. So okay, like I said, he's a comedian. How does Richard maintain his hair?
So Peter, usually what I do is let's start first. If it gets really long, I just part it to the side. Other than that, what I would do is, I've got a little shave and I just do it myself. To be honest, it's like, when you get to that stage where it just grows like this, just keep it off, man. It's you look dangerous. I'm going for the Jason Statham, Bruce Willis look. So
nice.
I mean,
it's coming along nicely.
Yeah, thanks, man. I lost my hair when I was 23 already. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
he's in the same boat. I mean, you've seen he's.
Yeah. So the cool thing is that's always the funny thing is, Joe. I always tell people, people, point at me and bold and whatever like that. But I'm not allowed to make fat jokes. People get very offensive with fat jokes. But
I don't mind fat jokes. Again, if you watch the roasts, those roast shows have really given me a thick skin. And Peter Sawanga is saying, "Lol, beautiful." Yeah, we need a bit of humor, man.
No, of course, without a doubt.
All right, so we're pretty much at the end of the hour, and with my guests, I usually let them give maybe some words of encouragement or motivation, and you can mention again for those who may have tuned in a bit later how they can find you. Like I said, I do have your links in the description below, but you can mention again your company and stay on the line as we sign off. I'll give you a proper goodbye once you're done.
Yeah, so it's I suppose it's hard to find words of encouragement in a time like this. Everyone is on the edge. Everyone's having a tough time. But I think my biggest thing is what I've learned during this particular time of COVID is if anyone, and it might sound a bit harsh or But I think, at the end of the day, you do have to take responsibility. You've got yourself. And I think, I've my mindset, I think, in the last 3 months have changed so much with regarding to who I am as a person. You have to look after yourself. I think in a space, in a country where it's very hard to come by, people don't really, no one's going to look after you, and you've got to take responsibility for your life, and you've got to push forward. And that's all I've got to say. Even in tough times, I think, I've got the saying that, without the darkness, you won't be able to see the light. It's important. You have to get that. You have to go through that space of, times are really shit, and I've got to find. But you have to have something to compare it to, And if this is your time for darkness, this is the time, and then you will, when things go better, you're really gonna know it.
Yeah.
And I think this is just push through. I think it's not that long anymore, and I would love to say South Africa is a country with a lot of opportunities, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still, once again, the opportunity you make for yourself. Luckily, we're still at that point where you can do something for yourself, so do it for yourself. That is my biggest thing. So, yeah, what I would like people to do is, as far as come try our sessions, come try our live sessions. I'm going to update the times, so we've changed the times a little bit. Moving forward now, so I'll update the times on the website. But try the live sessions. I mean, you don't have to stay on for the whole session, so you can go to www.sweatshackza.com. But I mean, you've got the links there, and just see what we're about, what we do. We are small. We're a boutique gym, so we're specialized. Come check us out. Once we're open, we'll have coffee for you as well. And just have a nice sit down and a chat. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's all I want for everyone. I want everyone to live a happy life. I want everyone to live a healthy life. And if I've got that, then I'm happy. I wish that for everyone. Just live a happy and healthy life.
Fantastic.
As much as you can. Cool,
Fantastic. So Robin Williams says, thanks, Joe and Richard. I will definitely give your Zoom sessions a go. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's help Richard and the fitness industry. Go check him out. Tell your friends. And also the beautiful thing about online is, at least for now, you can be in Joburg and enjoy the intimate training of Richard and Sweat Shack. Sweat Shack is the company and business. So please go check it out. And
logo there.
There we go, yeah.
There you go, yeah.
So please go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Please like this video. Please share it with your friends and family. Let people know what is going on. And if they need their fitness fix, they can check out Sweat Shack. Richard, once again, thank you so much for coming on to the stream and chatting with me. I feel that this was valuable information for everyone, and you updated us on the current happenings of the industry, which was very interesting. So please, guys, if you've just tuned in, I recommend that you go back and watch from the beginning. We spoke about some interesting things in the beginning. And I will be back here tomorrow morning with Unati Kwaza. He's going to be chatting to me about SMMEs and the struggle that they're going through right now in South Africa at 11 a.m. in the morning. So have your coffee ready. And then there will be a roast session in the evening. It's going to be a very interesting one. All the details are on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe, please like, and I will catch you at the next one. Good night, everyone, and stay safe. Cheers.